Well, this is an international event and people around the world will be remembering International Overdose Awareness Day, but it's got particular relevance here in Scotland where we are facing a public health emergency, and it's appropriate that we share our best practice and learn from the best practice elsewhere in the world, and today's an ideal opportunity for us to do that.
I think Scotland is a really compassionate country. I think Scotland is, I think the people of Scotland really care about each other. I think sometimes it's not always portrayed in that way, and I think that you will get individuals who are maybe embarrassed about addiction and drug use and overdose, or maybe don't see that as the biggest issue in this country. Lots of things are going on in this country, but I think when you get down to the nitty-gritty, the people of Scotland love each other and want to help and support each other, and they are bothered about hearing about people who have died of an overdose.
Communities tend to, for some reason, for a variety of reasons, have separated out heroin addicts. It's just been less than. So they blame them for being weak, for being selfish, etc., etc. And they often then get involved in antisocial behaviours because it's one of the results of their illness. But if they weren't being rejected in that way by society and by their communities, they would have a much better chance of getting into recovery, and certainly a much better chance of staying alive, because it's that isolation and feeling rejected that leads to that. So I think everybody does have a part to play here. And it's largely just about being a bit kinder to people and trying to understand and be more compassionate.
I think here at Forth Valley Recovery Community and North Lanarkshire Recovery Community, what we want to achieve out of International Overdose Awareness Day is absolutely and utterly, without any doubt, to provide some comfort and support to people who have lost loved ones over this year. Just provide a quiet moment for people to get together, show that empathy and support and love, to be there for each other, I think, and show respect. One year we had somebody whose mother had died, and he was suffering bullying at school because his mother was a drug user. And I just thought, how terrible must that have been for him, that he didn't have anybody who said how wonderful his mum was, what a loss it was to him, to his wider family, So this occasion provides that love.
Drug deaths are not inevitable, and we've got hundreds of thousands of people across Scotland that are evidence to that with our growing recovery community, and it's really important that we raise awareness of that and the success of the recovery community across Scotland, showing hope to anyone who is struggling.
Drug misuse is everywhere. It doesn't matter where you live in Scotland, it doesn't matter where you live in the world apparently. And I think that's why it is important that it is an International Overdose Awareness Day, because I think Scotland has to learn as well that we're not alone with this problem. We get a lot of bad press because we're the worst in Europe, or we're this or we're that, top of the league. We don't want to be top of that league, but there's people all over the world are dealing with the same issues. So it's good for us to be able to share our experience, how are we responding to it, but also learn from what they're doing.
So we've all got a role to play in preventing overdoses. There's a number of things that we can do personally. First of all, educate ourselves and learn a bit about the signs of an overdose. What are the signs of a heroin overdose in particular that potentially are reversible using the drug naloxone, but also educate ourselves in terms of the impact of stigma, because it is clear that stigma is a killer and is really a driver of our drug deaths here in Scotland.